There are some things in our lives we have the ability to modify or influence, whereas other things in our lives we have absolutely no control over. No amount of worrying can change that. Instead of entertaining the negative thoughts, you have the capability of shifting your focus onto what you can control, yourself. And guess what? That's the true path to freedom. Hey guys, it's MJam. Thanks for tuning into my channel. Let's have a conversation on control and finding your true path to freedom through this, or through releasing control actually. I'm going to be sharing some teachings from Krishnamurti's Freedom from the Known because I really feel like he did his big one with this one, so let's get into it. Feeding into control can end up debilitating you, so stop trying to control everything. I know what you're thinking, but how do I do that? Well, to get a deeper understanding, let's look into the etymology. The concept of control involves directing, exercising, or restraining influence over something or someone. It derives of Anglo-French contrôler, which means to exert authority. And I probably just butchered that, but let's ignore that, okay? I'm sure you guys have heard of the saying, every decision stems from either fear or love. Whenever I'm making a decision, I try to pause and reflect, and whenever I'm able to do this, I find that saying being more true than ever. Within my life, I've had a lot of people try to exert control and dominance over me. Within certain situations that I was placed in, I myself tried to exert control. When I reflect on this, it always seems to come back to fear. So yeah, I really do think that there is truth behind that saying that every decision stems from either fear or love. The desire to control can stem from personality disorders, insecurity, self-esteem issues. This can be due to a plethora of reasons really. It could also be due to a fear of the unknown. Being afraid of stepping into the unknown can derive a desire to control because it can provide a sense of predictability and security. Another factor that plays a role in controlling behaviors can be trauma from past experiences. And this can even go as far back to childhood. For example, growing up in an unstable environment can lead someone to developing controlling behaviors as a coping mechanism in order to foster a sense of serenity. So yeah, your controlling tendencies are stemming from the fear that you're harboring within. The good thing is that you're not doomed by overbearingly controlling tendencies because I'm going to teach you how to stop doing that. And I'm going to be using this book to do it. We are going to go on a journey of learning how to detach from our ingrained beliefs so that we can learn how to release control from anything that we can't control. And in doing this, you'll be able to focus on more of what you can control, which is yourself. And of course, you can only do this through self-exploration. There's things we can control in this world, like how we react to situations, and other things we can't control, like how other people perceive us. And certain situations that happen to us, certain experiences that we have, are also out of our control. This is because we have free will, and sometimes someone else's free will interfere with another person's life. And this is why it's so important to work on ourselves, because we unconsciously hurt people when we don't work on our energy. So the themes explored in Krishnamurti's Freedom from the Known explores the concept of total freedom by challenging societal norms, authority, and personal conditioning. The book basically emphasizing facing fears directly and living the present without preconceived notions or judgments. The key takeaways are self-awareness, breaking conditioning, letting go of attachment, embracing uncertainty, and forming authentic relationships. Let's break it down so you can get a deeper conception on control and stepping into your true path to freedom. You can start cultivating self-awareness by observing without being the observer, according to Krishnamurti. This is called ego transcendence, and I love this concept because its aim is to help you recognize that the observer is just a construct of past experiences and personal conditioning. Basically, it's what I always tell y'all, thought patterns are habits too. It's about observing without preconceived notions in order to then dismantle these ingrained beliefs. This basically means stepping into a state of awareness where you perceive reality without the interference of personal bias or basically your judgments. This is obviously easier said than done, but when you're able to achieve this, you'll be able to observe the direct experience without distortions, or basically viewing the world through the lens of your ego. So in a sense, it's about taming your ego enough to foster a deeper sense of understanding with your surroundings, which will lead to inner peace. If this is something that you need help with, you could try mindfulness practices. Practice a moment-to-moment awareness technique. So instead of focusing on the past, you're essentially shifting your focus to the present moment. You can deconstruct the observer by questioning the thoughts and sensations associated with the observer's ego, which in this case is obviously you. And again, this can be done through engaging in the present moment fully without filtering the world through your personal bias. Now you know that I have to share with you my go-to technique, and yes, it is meditation. Krishnamurti also mentions that a mindfulness practice like meditation helps you stay in a state of awareness that you'd be observing without actually being the observer. Once you're able to cultivate the necessary techniques to step into self-awareness, if you didn't already know how to do that, then you want to start breaking free of conditioning. We all at one point in our lives feel the need to conform to societal expectations and norms. Breaking free of this conditioning can be a little difficult because it does require you to essentially reject authority and embrace uncertainty, which is not something that's too often celebrated. In fact, this is extremely different from the Western cultural norms that we've adopted, which encourages you to question authority but not necessarily reject it. The reason that Krishnamurti emphasizes completely rejecting authority in order to foster a sense of personal growth and authenticity is because he believes that a reliance on authority can lead to internal conflict and conformity. This can act as a blockage on your journey to self-discovery and true freedom. So rejecting authority can look like challenging external dogmas. This is basically a belief or doctrine imposed by an external authority. So when you have a dogma, you're essentially prescribing to teachings that are enforced by authoritative bodies. That requires conformity and discourages you from exploring self-interpretation and self-examination. Think of religious institutions, political systems, or a school that is accepted without question. Detaching yourself from these dogmas will help you break free from conditioning and truly be able to step into your true freedom. But of course, in order to break free of conditioning, you're going to have to first identify these dogmas. Once you're able to identify these dogmas and start breaking free from conditioning by dismantling those ingrained beliefs, you can then start letting go of attachments that are holding you back from your true freedom. So we're going to be letting go of attachments through critical thinking. And we're going to be talking about critical thinking skills in dismantling ingrained beliefs. We're very much aware that in order to dismantle ingrained beliefs, we first have to cultivate self-awareness through self-exploration. But how can we do this in a practical way? Well, you can start by identifying assumptions. This will help you uncover the underlying basis that shape your beliefs. Identify by observing the assumption and then questioning it. So ask yourself whenever you have, like a judgment pop up, what is the basis of this belief? Where is this stemming from? If it doesn't align with you or if it doesn't serve you, then you can always replace a negative belief with a positive affirmation and a constructive statement. What you're doing when you practice this is that you're actually forming new thought patterns. Question the validity of your beliefs by seeking evidence, and don't be afraid to consider different perspectives. We have a tendency of believing that our views are always right. But how can you confidently adapt any views without ever questioning them? When you challenge black and white thinking and you consider alternative perspectives, you allow yourself to be more open to engaging with diverse viewpoints and meeting new people that can probably offer you new insight. After going through the journey of self-exploration, if you feel like your beliefs still align with you, then you can stand stronger in your convictions because you took the time to explore them and question them. But regardless, don't be afraid to question your beliefs and step into the unknown while you explore yourself to get to the core of your authenticity. In the absence of authentic expression, there is no freedom, but there is no authenticity without self-exploration and embracing uncertainty. I'll be the first to let you know that stepping into the unknown is no walk in the park. I mean, humans as a whole fear uncertainty. We're literally neurologically wired to avoid uncertainty and stepping into the unknown. Our brains are naturally inclined to resolve uncertainty because the unknown can be perceived as a threat, and of course, this poses a risk to our survival. See, the thing is, this can get tricky because if you were raised in a toxic, dysfunctional dynamic, you will subconsciously seek what you already know, which is chaos. This is because you're subconsciously comfortable with that. We create associations with unknown situations and potential harm through past negative experiences, which basically reinforces the need for us to avoid uncertainty. This can lead people to stay in toxic dynamics due to fear of facing the unknown. If you have a fear of the unknown, you can try gradually exposing yourself to certain situations in order to essentially build a tolerance. This can really help you reduce anxiety if you're someone who suffers from anxiety. This is basically exposure therapy, and trust me, it works wonders. Going back to control, another way that you can embrace uncertainty is by focusing on the areas of your life that you can control, like your reactions and the decisions that you make. You can also try to reframe your perspective on uncertainty. Start viewing the unknown as an opportunity to grow instead of a threat. This is going to help you shift your mindset towards embracing new experiences. Embrace life by challenging your assumptions. Embrace the unknown and step confidently into it, because there's nothing to be scared of. According to Krishnamurti, in freeing yourself from bias, you're able to form genuine, authentic connections that are free of personal and cultural conditioning. Love arises when releasing control and stepping into your path of true freedom. Because as Krishnamurti explains, love can only arise when individuals are free from conditioned responses and expectations. This is because love should be based on openness and authenticity, untainted by self-interest and societal norms. Love is a force that cannot coexist with fear or attachment. Love is egoless, so in a sense, it's about being in a state where the mind is free of preconceived notions, because this will allow for genuine connections and understandings. By recognizing control stems from fear, you can step into self-exploration as a means of releasing fear, ergo control. I truly believe that implementing these key takeaways from J. Krishnamurti's Freedom from the Known can help you in your self-exploration journey by challenging societal norms, authority, and personal conditioning. In fostering a deeper sense of awareness, you can break free from conditioning and release attachments. Doing this will help you embrace uncertainty and begin your journey into the unknown, which will inevitably end up helping you form authentic relationships, trust me. This is because when you release control, you release the fear attached to it. And the polarity of fear is love. When you stop trying to control everything, you begin operating through love. And again, all decisions stem from either fear or love. Stop trying to control everything and walk into your path to true freedom. In life, there are certain experiences that happen to us that are out of our control. And this is because we have free will, and sometimes someone else's free will interfere in our lives. This is why it's important to work on ourselves, because we unconsciously hurt people when we don't work on our energy. It's also important to check ourselves because the road to hell is paved with good intentions. So make sure your underlying motives aren't riddled with control. Release the desire to have precedence over someone or something and start focusing on what you actually can control: yourself. Thank you guys for tuning into my channel. I genuinely hope that you guys are encouraged to implement some of the takeaways from Freedom from the Known. It's really helped me out. I love this book, so I really wanted to make a video about it. So I'd love to hear any feedback that you guys have in the comment section. Please make sure to hit that like button and don't forget to subscribe to my channel. I love you guys. Till next time.